You're the best.
No, I'm very weak at this.
No, you're very good.
No, I'm telling you. I don't know. I can't speak for yourself, but I suck doing this. That's for sure.
Join me weekdays, 4 to 6 p.m. for Matt Connarton Unleashed in the afternoon, live on WMNH 95.3 FM.
This is Ben Dion of the Weekly Dion. Just remind you to listen to the show every Thursday night live at 6 p.m. We talk about everything Manchester, from history to current events, exactly what's going on in Manchester with our special guests every week.
The Shaskin Pub is happy to be a sponsor in WMNH. Our location is 909 Elm Street. The Shaskin Pub is open 7 days a week from 11:30 a.m. to 1 a.m. and offers the best food and drinks in downtown Manchester.
This hour on WMNH is proudly sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 171 Londonderry Turnpike in Hooksett. Serving all your employee benefits planning, design and administration, investment and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. They are available at 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
You are listening to WMNH-LP, Manchester's radio, broadcasting at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation from the top of 1000 Elm Street. Our studios are located at 1045 Elm Street and licensed to Manchester Public Television Service in Manchester, New Hampshire, USA. Contact us by email at WMNH953@gmail.com or through our website at WMNHradio.org.
Now the time has come to write the next great chapter in the history of our armed forces, to prepare for the next battlefield, where America's best and bravest will be called to deter and defeat a new generation of threats to our people, to our nation. The time has come to establish the United States Space Force. The men and women of this department have also taken historic steps to secure American leadership in space. At the direction of Secretary Mattis, the Department of Defense is fielding a new generation of jam-resistant GPS and communication satellites, and new missile warning satellites that are smaller, tougher, and more maneuverable than ever before. And while these steps have been vital to our national defense, they're really only a beginning. They're only a beginning of meeting the rising security threats our nation faces in space today and in the future. As President Trump has said in his words, it is not enough to merely have an American presence in space. We must have American dominance in space, and so we will.
Space. Who knew space was so big? These are the voyages of the Starship Intercourse. Its 4-year mission, hopefully 4, to seek out new civilizations and to keep them out, to build a space wall and make the Venusians pay for it, to pay for it out their Uranus, to boldly and strongly go like the world has never seen.
Space Force! Brought to you by the Solar System's premier upscale retreat, Martian Lago.
Captain's log. I am Captain Bone T. Spurs, and as we go through space in my very large ship, a ship that can go through space, our crew encountered something.
Captain, sensors are indicating a galactic storm, like the 4 we encountered before. Those were storms A through D. I'm going to call this one Storm E.
I know. Can you talk to it, Lieutenant Yehu?
I opened up the hailing frequencies. Evidently, nobody's answering. I tried Channel 9, then I tried Channel 5, but I gave up. Now I'm going to have a moon pie.
Do you think we could pay the storm off?
That is most illogical, Captain.
Okay, slow down.
On impulse power.
Stormy sure has very large moons.
That is one of the tackiest storms we've encountered.
Kelly, if I'm going to win, we have to be able to beat full subpoena power.
I bypassed the Twitter feed with the dilithium crystal meth, but I cannot guarantee that she'll hold.
I think we should just grab this, Stormy.
If you do that, Captain, she's gonna blow.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Oh, my.
Come on, who's with me?
I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
I quit. Live long. And Bone Spur.
Well, it looks like it's just you and me, Vladoff. Everyone else left.
I was going to put polonium in their soup anyway. Now let me tell you about what I want you to do for the next mission.
This has been Space Force.
You're not a nice person.
They don't know what they're doing. There's something wrong with you. You're certainly not very good.
Shut up. Shut up.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome. It's Matt Connarton, Unleashed in the Afternoon. We are live on WMNH 95.3 FM, emanating from downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Streaming worldwide at WMNHradio.org. You can also find WMNH on the TuneIn app, so you can take us wherever you go on your mobile device. You can watch on channel 97 Comcast if you're in Manchester. And, of course, you can watch and listen via Facebook Live on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. Got a bunch of folks in there already. Oh, I see my Romanian friend Wolf is in there. Hello. Let's see. Hello, I'm back, he says. Walter Reed is in the Facebook Live chat. Walter Herbert Reed III, a very talented musician whom I interviewed, years ago now. Where does the time go? I see Henry Noel is in there. Hello, Henry. Ed Murphy joins us in the Facebook Live chat. Tom Massengale is in there as well. Hello, Tom. Wow, we got already off to a busy start. Of course, you can opine on anything you like and contribute to the discussion in the Facebook Live chat, but you can also give us a call. 603-250-6007 is the number. 603-250-6007. Anytime in the next about 100 and not quite 120 minutes because we're 5 minutes in, 115 minutes. Although Thursdays we wrap a few minutes early usually to make room for the weekly Dion. Although I'm not sure. Ben Dion, if you're out there, if you're listening, I'm not sure if the weekly Dion is live this week because I know there was a week coming up that Ben was going to be going to Washington, D.C., and I'm not sure if it's this week. But anyway, but sometimes Ben will pop into the Facebook Live chat, so perhaps he'll let us know. So it is, of course, Thursday, August 9th, 2018, here on planet Earth. Of course, who knows what time it is out in space. And by the way, I wonder something. So, we got this Space Force thing that's going to be happening. We're going to have a Space Force, which I think is very exciting. And, of course, my biggest point of excitement with this and tremendous anticipation is I am dying to know what the uniforms are going to look like. That is very exciting. And, again, I know I've said this before, but if I were to make a suggestion, I would go with Star Trek II Wrath of Khan era style uniforms. Those were some badass uniforms. I don't like the uniforms in Star Trek I. They look like pajamas. And of course, in the original series, I mean, those just look like you would expect uniforms on a 1960s television show about space to look like. So that's my suggestion. Star Trek II Wrath of Khan era uniforms. I love those. I love the color. They look great with bloods, when Kirk has the blood smeared on him, whatnot. Hello to Tom Massengale. Oh, I think I already said hello to Tom, but he's excited about the Space Force. He says, "Where's your sidekick?" I assume he means Jon Hopwood. I don't know. I mean, John comes and goes as he pleases. He has carte blanche, if you will. Let's see. Have we seen prototype uniforms? I have not, but I am dying to. It's the thing. Tom is, it looks like, he says TNG, so he's recommending the next generation era uniforms, which actually, yeah, those are all right. The thing that I like about the Star Trek II Wrath of Khan era uniforms is they open up, across the chest. I don't know why I like that, but I do. I like things that open. I like to imagine that you could put things in that pouch if you needed to. Very, very exciting. So these are exciting times that we live in, my friends. I assume they'll have ranks similar to that of the Navy, because that's what they do in Star Trek, right? Which makes sense, right? You're on a ship. So it's all very exciting. We have, we won't spend much more time on this, I promise, but Mediaite has a story up about this, by the way. The White House officially rolled out the Space Force, and Twitter reported for duty. Bring Picard out of retirement, Tom Massengale says. He's in his, or Admiral Picard, he's in his 80s now, I believe. I don't know. I think he may have missed the cutoff for the Space Force. It says here, this is from Mediaite, Trump announced the creation of a Space Force a few months back, but Vice President Mike Pence said today that the White House is planning to launch it by 2020, a mere 2 years from now. Hey, we got to hurry up and get this done. I mean, this is Trump's dream, his vision, and, he's in his 70s now, so there's a little bit of an urgency to this. Walter Herbert Reed III says they should really just base it off all Star Trek. It's like a blueprint. I agree. Yes, I agree. Let's see. So here's Twitter's reaction, or various people on Twitter. Twitter is not this monolithic thing. Various people on Twitter. This is how they reacted to Pence and his announcement today. Kevin M. Cruz, at Kevin M. Cruz, tweeted, "I'd love to join up, but I have space bone spurs." Oh, burn! Space bone spurs. I like it. Of course, that does raise an interesting question. Will there be a draft for when the Space Force gets off the ground? Quite literally. Will they have to, what if nobody joins? What if nobody joins the Space Force? Will they have to have a draft and therefore something to avoid? Where you'll have to get deferments and whatnot because you have bone spurs or you're rich or whatever the reason may be. Let's see. At Jordan Uhai tweeted, "Friends, thanks to Donald Trump's impeccable deal-making, we now have Buzz Lightyear heading up our Space Force against the evil Emperor Zurg, sworn enemy of the Galactic Alliance." That, my friends, is very exciting. I hope that that's true and that person's not just being funny. Let's see. At, I don't know, Alexandra Petrie. It's Alexandra Petrie. So it's at Pet something. I don't know. She just tweeted, "Am I excited about Space Force? I'm over the moon." Oh, this Alexandria Petrie. She's quite punny. Get it? Let's see. At Best Bell tweeted, "How to talk to your cat about Space Force." I don't get that one. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a picture included. It's too much to explain. Never mind. Let's see. At Keaton Patty tweeted, "Space Force missions. Kidnap the sun, arrest a black hole for a crime a white hole committed, get Trump off the planet before he can be arrested, and seduce E.T." I don't know about the seduce E.T. part. That's now you're messing with one of my childhood memories. At Attacker Man tweeted, "Sigh, look, the motto has to be Space Force. That's what's up." And then there's some more. A lot of these, though, are visuals, so people attached pictures and videos to their tweets. So we won't go through the whole thing, but God bless the internet and Twitter. Hey, some quick programming notes for you all, or y'all, depending on if for our southern listeners, if you happen to be in Kentucky, you might, for example, respond better to y'all. Y'all listening now? You hear? Well, of course you're hearing because you're listening. Let's see. So today, Gray Chenoweth might stop by if he can. He's got a debate later downtown at 6 p.m. So he might stop in, I'm told. Tomorrow on the program, I believe at 4:30 p., we'll be joined by Gilletta Jarvis, Libertarian candidate for governor here in New Hampshire. Monday on the show, Mike Doyle is going to be calling in. You might know Mike Doyle from the morning show. I think he calls frequently, but he also, I think on at least one occasion, maybe more, he actually guest hosted the morning show with Peter White and the Moose. But he's going to come in here on Monday, so I look forward to finally meeting. I don't think I've ever met Mike in person, so that'll be exciting. And then Tuesday of next week, I have a musical guest coming in during the second hour of the show. Kate Dobbins will be here. Kate was recently a guest on Granite State of Mind, hosted by the great Rob Azevedo, which you can hear Fridays at 6 p.m. immediately following this program on WMNH. But she's going to come on to this show Tuesday of next week. So lots of things coming up. It's action-packed around here, my friends. Let's see. Speaking of action-packed, there's all this Facebook live chat activity. Hello to Matt DaCosta, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. Walter Reed says, maybe uniforms like the cult classic movie Flash Gordon. Yeah. I would stick with the Star Trek universe of options for the uniforms, Walter. I don't want to go the Flash Gordon route. I just don't. I'm not feeling it. But that's just me. I mean, I'm not in charge of anything. I mean, they'll do what they want. Let's see. Walter also says, going to try to paste a Google image link here. No idea if it'll work. Let's see. Walter did post a Google image link into the Facebook live chat for those of you. Oh, my goodness. No, Walter. No. Looking at this image now, I am more convinced than I was a moment ago that my gut instinct was correct. We must not go the Flash Gordon route with this. I'm sorry. That uniform is unacceptable. I mean, it's got like stuff coming out of the shoulders. That's dangerous, Walter. What are you thinking? My God, man. I'm sorry. You cannot be in charge of the uniforms for the Space Force. And if our president nominates you as the person to be in charge, I will be forced to write a letter to the president, perhaps even post a petition on whitehouse.org disqualifying you. It's nothing personal. I think you're a great guy and a very talented musician. But you clearly, sir, lack the judgment needed to decide or, frankly, to even suggest suitable uniforms for our Space Force. And I'm sorry about that, but it's the fact of the matter. Walter says the shoulders are so boss. No, Walter. The shoulders are dangerous. Those are a hazard. Can you imagine being out in space and you're floating around in space and you've all got those weird shoulder things on that stick out? People would be losing their eyeballs. You'd like float into one of your fellow Space Force cadets or something, and their uniform would poke your eye out or poke you in the nose or something. You have to think about safety. You have to think about form and function, whatever that even means. I just know it's a phrase I've heard. You have to think about all these things, Walter. I must, again, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but let's put a little more thought into this. Surely we can do better. I mean, it's the Space Force, and this is President Trump's idea, so we need to be extra careful. And we need to show this the respect that it deserves. And that's why I'm all like that's why, if you haven't noticed, I'm not being the least bit sarcastic today. I'm being very, very serious about this, and I'm very excited. Let's see. Walter says, Spaceman, you got my eye again. These outfits were a horrible design. Yes, Walter, thank you. I'm glad you came around to my way of thinking on this, and you understand my concerns. Tom said something about warp drive. Yes, I assume, Tom Massengale, that warp drive will be included on these spaceships. How can we defend ourselves against aliens if we don't have warp drive in our ships? And I'm sure that President Donald John Trump himself will probably, I'm sure he'll, how could he resist? He'll want to fly on one of the first missions. And I can actually imagine him saying something like warp factor 10 or something. And then everyone will just kind of look at him funny and roll their eyes because they'll be like, what's the president talking about now? Hello to Fred Bonig from thedailyripple.org. who joins us in the Facebook live chat. Fred's a creative guy. He might have some ideas about what the uniforms should look like for the Space Force. But my goodness, like I said, what an exciting time to be alive. Speaking of exciting, there's a lady that you may have heard of, Omarosa Manigault, who also is one of those very famous people who can get away with going by one name and simply being Omarosa or Omarosa. Fred points out we already have space cadets. Yes. Yes, and soon they will be in actual space defending our planet, really, not just our nation. Let's see. So Omarosa, of course, was at one point an advisor in the White House of President Donald John Trump, and I don't think anyone really knew what it was that she was supposed to be doing there, what her duties might be in terms of her work in the West Wing. But, she's a reality TV star. She's probably the, outside of Celebrity Apprentice, of course, Regular Apprentice, she's probably the most famous contestant, right? I mean, how many people who were on Regular Apprentice ever got to be in the West Wing of the White House advising our president? So, but she wasn't there for too long, and apparently there was some drama on her way out. But, and then there was that thing, she was on Celebrity Big Brother, and there was that clip of her talking to somebody about how it's not going to be okay, and it's scary and whatnot, and anyway, apparently Michael Cohen is not the only one who has recorded secretly conversations with our 45th president prior to him, or in this case, after him becoming president, I guess, President Donald John Trump. No, Omarosa has also done so. And obviously this raises a couple of questions. One is, what's on that recording? What's on those tapes? But the other obvious question is, was this legal for her to do this? I wouldn't think it would be. Let's see. This is from lawandcrime.com. It says here, a Daily Beast report on Wednesday revealed that Omarosa Manigault, former Apprentice contestant and ex-advisor to President Donald Trump, secretly recorded conversations she had with Trump. While the news is helping her drum up publicity for her upcoming tell-all book, Unhinged, it raises the question, could she get in legal trouble for this? So far, all signs point to no. According to the Daily Beast report, the conversations took place in the White House. Washington, D.C. law is a one-party consent jurisdiction when it comes to recording conversations. That means that at least one person participating in a conversation must consent to the recording for it to be legal. Since Omarosa recorded her own conversations, that would be enough to put her in the clear. However, there remains a great deal of mystery surrounding these conversations, and if any of them took place in other locations, there could be a problem depending on where they were. Florida, for example, where Trump has spent a great deal of time during his presidency, they call Mar-a-Lago like the second White House, is a two-party consent state, meaning everyone involved in a conversation must be aware of and give permission for any recording that takes place. If Omarosa and the president were at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club, also known as the Winter White House, when she recorded them, that could be problematic for her. Florida law generally considers first offenses to be misdemeanors, although recordings made for commercial gain, which could be the case here given her book, can result in felony charges punishable by up to 5 years in jail. Still, there are exceptions to the two-party consent rule. Recordings that take place in public settings may be permitted because they wouldn't necessarily be a reasonable expectation of privacy. Oh, my goodness. Well, I want to know what's, as I'm sure we all do, what's on those tapes? The name of her book is Unhinged. Is she describing Trump? Is she describing herself with that title? I'm just glad she didn't call it Unleashed. I originally started Unleashed as a podcast back in 2011, and I must tell you, at the time, I thought I was, the only reason I called it Unleashed is because Matt Connarton Unleashed is because I initially wanted to call it Matt Connarton Unfiltered, but then I figured at the time, there's already shows out there that use the word unfiltered, so I'm going to use Unleashed And then, of course, now there's other shows out there using Unleashed in their name. It's very discouraging. It's hard to have, but, I mean, there is only one Matt Connarton Unleashed, so I'm happy to report that. That's actually how I got the gig here at WMNH. They put out there was an ad in the Union Leader saying that they were looking for someone to host a new show called Matt Connarton Unleashed, and I was like, oh my goodness, I already do a podcast by that name. I should audition. And then they picked me. Can you believe it? It came down to me and some other guy whose name is also Matt Connarton. Actually, he's my uncle. He's the only other Matt Connarton I know. That's all but a bunch of silliness. That's not really how this all happened. I'm just joshing with you. See, I have to be sarcastic and kind of funny now because if you joined us at the top of the show, you know that my discussion about the Space Force and Vice President Pence's announcement about the Space Force, I was very serious during that, and I wasn't the least bit sarcastic or caustic or funny or silly or anything. You know, I just played it straight because that's a serious thing. So now I'm kind of letting out my mischievous side. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. This is something I wanted to get to yesterday, and we kind of ran out of time, but it's important. This is from Axios. A document suggests Putin discussed arms control with Trump in Helsinki. Now, the reason this is interesting to me, and hopefully to some of you, is that there's been all this kind of wondering, what exactly did Trump and his BFF, Vlad the Impaler, what were they discussing during that meeting where no one was allowed to join them other than a translator or two? Oh, hello to Ben Dion from the Weekly Dion, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. Ben, your ears must have been burning. I was trying to recall if what week it is that you're going to Washington, D.C. Well, now we might know something because a document has leaked indicating that, at least going by this one document, what they discussed might have been something completely normal that you would expect a president of the United States and the president of Russia to discuss. Document suggests Putin discussed arms control with Trump. So here's what it says. Again, this is from Axios. A leaked Russian document obtained by Politico suggests that during his meeting in Helsinki last month with President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin brought up a range of arms control topics, including the continuation of nuclear treaties, new weapons limits, and the, quote, non-placement of weapons in space, unquote. Hold the phone. This could be a problem. What did Trump... see, now I'm worried. I'm worried about something. And again, so I'm not going to be the least bit sarcastic because we're going to go back to talking about the Space Force for a moment. We have to revisit that. So I'm going to be very serious with you all for a moment. Oh, hello to Heidi Hamer, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. What if Trump, because we don't know what Trump agreed to. There's a lot of mystery surrounding this, right? This meeting. So we don't know what Trump agreed to. What if Trump agreed to limit weapons in space? How's that going to work with the Space Force? The Space Force is going to have weapons, right? They're not just going to be there flying around patrolling. The Space Force has to have weapons. But if Putin is saying, you can't have any weapons in space, and Trump says, yes, sir. I owe the banks in your country billions of dollars. Yes, sir. What's that going to do? I'm kind of worried now because I want the Space Force thing to happen. It's very exciting. And I say that in all seriousness. Hello, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed in the Afternoon. Who's on the line? They hung up. And I think that was deliberate, by the way, because if you notice, the click didn't come until after I finished my greeting. I think whoever was calling did that intentionally. And I think that it's someone who disapproves of my disapproval of Walter's idea for the Flash Gordon uniforms. And that's my little bit of payback there. That's what I think. I'm not saying Walter did that. I'm saying that someone else who probably agreed with Walter that we should have the Flash Gordon style uniforms for the Space Force. Let's see. Lots in the Facebook live chat. So Walter says, so space, I think, is integral to humans to have something to do more than making money. In fact, making money is, in my opinion, just like a nice side effect of having important work. I don't think there are many things that we are better at than exploration and innovation. I bet anything that if we start getting out there in this space, all our squabbling will dissipate after a while. Well, that'd be nice. Someone is calling again. Let's see what happens this time. Hello, welcome to Matt Connarton, Unleashed in the Afternoon. Who's this? Please turn down your radio. What is... oh, my goodness. Now that, my friends, I have to tell you something. I don't know about any of you. I don't know what that sounded like to any of you. But you know what that sounded like to me? That sounded like a fart sound. I think someone just farted into my show. I must tell you. I am very, very, I'm shaken by this, shaken to the core. I'm very upset. I can't believe that just happened. My goodness. The indignity of it. Oh, the humanity. Very upsetting. I feel very, you know what? I have been, Jenny has reassured me that it's okay for me to say this, even though I'm not Jewish. I'm verklempt. There. I mean, that's how I feel. It's terrifying, really. Heidi Hamer says, are they going to bring Tang back as the official astronauts drink? Oh, I'm sure Trump would enjoy the Tang. And there's definitely at least another half dozen jokes in there, which unfortunately I cannot indulge in because we are on FM terrestrial radio in the afternoon. Walter says, if we start by weaponizing space, we will almost certainly all explode. I agree. But some of us would explode with excitement because that does sound exciting. Walter says, weapons, yes, but not as the ultimate end game. Exploration must be paramount. I would agree. Tom Massengale says, maybe it was Trump. Who did the hang-up call? Oh, maybe it was Trump. Yes, yes. Walter says, on the phone, wake up. Well, it very well could have been. This through. I don't mean isn't content. Putin's one-on-one meeting has been the subject of speculation and maybe some radiation poisoning. Screw all. I mean, your family will be there. People. Is that great, right? So did terrorize Egypt here, gentlemen, but I that but he had him no but say no so I can in fact I know something about that phone call that terrifying call see me all riled and has turned it as like
quarters. It's kind of like a big hovering. You know, you can't inside include hot air balloons. Hot air balloons. So, any apologies?
Hear you fart.
I never liked that word. It's grotesque.
It is grotesque.
It's like yeah.
Someone called me with a fart sound. Someone farted on my show. Damn it.
I tell you the proper.
I'm verklempt.
You know now that you're trying to imitate the morning show, you're refusing to keep things within the bounds of good taste. Here on Mac, is it Covington?
Look,
unsheathed in
I don't
after
know.
lunch.
I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show, but I
heard the word Putin, and then suddenly there's a gas attack.
I spent a good deal of the beginning of the show discussing in very somber and serious tones the Space Force. I was not imitating any kind of show. I was not being humorous or sarcastic in any way. I was discussing this is a very serious moment for our country and for the world as we prepare to begin our voyage into space.
Does Peter of the morning show?
It's very exciting.
Does he know whether his application has been for the Force has been vetted? Because since he was a little lad, the Force has always been with him.
The Force is with him,
even
yes.
before it existed, technically, I guess.
Before it existed? That doesn't even make sense.
Hey, I saw on my phone, and it's eerie.
Really? Well, absolutely no. Was he, that I think that's a Trump.
My
no. Oh, can I hear it? Yeah. We have, but anyway, and Facebook chat.
They had been a great liberal. It actually wait. I kept morning play that.
What's that? There.
No.
I went.
Is this
they discussing on the morning show?
Well, isn't all
they discussing very
marriage?
I'm aspect of it. To be mayor of Africa is a big job. Who's mayor?
Oh.
Rape.
Rape. I can think of other things.
Oh my goodness! Dare you? Very. You be presented with an award. An award.
Is it hot?
It's hot.
Is it?
In that.
Problem.
They keep you from getting hot. That's probably advantageous in the summer.
I got the outside.
You know what they say? No.
Use no comeback, right?
Doing Glenn now.
So.
He did it's really very funny. And when he was on, I'll say something. It's actually it is. It's
get him going.
It's actually really fun.
And I got he's literally happy over his marriage and his son going to Dubai University, which is, by the way, the only mobile and we're not talking, so sick of you people, you were condescending, the American type, not talking about one of these single hump dromedaries. Operations, all two humps. So, this kid not only can study stuff, he right on the. I mean, I can't.
What I'm excited is soon will animals in space.
Nasty.
Walter is watching that image confirm the whole reptile conspiracy thing. The image of
we refuse to go reptiloids a few years ago. That is news. You read, please. Blue Pleiadians.
Military. Do you believe now? I should say. Do you believe that President, Vice President, I keep almost saying President Pence. I think I'm having a recall. What I was going to ask you though, is he has going to have the Space Force within 2 years. Does that seem a bit ambitious to you? 2 years to have a Space Force?
Well, we have like John K. Hunt in the place. What he talked about?
His daughter. To who she's.
I got her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the gals. But yeah, it's over now. You
asked me about Roger Stone.
Let's not get into that right now. But well, after this, Donald again died, and he will step down with visa of the power of his. And then voted. The
why? Because this was a big that it was evident.
Well, there's I heard the Donald Jr. done nasty things, and it's Mueller is and he blow a couple of blow his champagne cork after getting of the lawless.
Sounds like a youth or something, sir.
Lawless cash in Britain.
What happens if you blow your champagne?
No,
good point.
But that'll always picture.
If you
and yeah, the Donald, he will have to step down, and they'll pardon him because Nixon went down with the promise of a pardon.
Right, pencil.
Penn. The only thing. There'll be enough time after the congressional elections, or he's a lame, and there'll be even people. I don't know any Republicans that'll be on like Case and men that are respectable people.
Right.
Because I've met Kasich a couple of times. You might disagree with some of his what he says, but the guy is. That's what a Republican. That's what a politician should be. A decent guy that's trying to govern for the best of everybody. We might disagree with somebody, but it's not this philosophy of of your favorite president, which is more, more, more. And that's so fascinating because, who got his music stolen by Saul Sonnets?
John Fogerty.
Yeah, Fogerty, Fortunate Son. I Ain't No Millionaire's Son. Boy, that could have been written for Donald Trump. I don't know if you can play that.
I can.
Fortunate Son.
I can play it right now. I'm more concerned
that song.
about
now that I'm thinking about it.
Immediate matters.
I remember during the '88 campaign that Dukakis played it about Bush won. But this, because that's a damning song.
Yes.
I ain't no fortunate son. But yeah, I guess Donald's finally it's crumbling.
So you did text me about you texted me about the interview, and then I watched it on YouTube.
Bizarre, wasn't it?
Was Anderson Cooper interviewing Roger Stone? Roger Stone, of course, wearing a hat, as he likes to do.
Which I'm saying John Dean was saying, why is he wearing a hat?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
and I'm wondering why he's wearing a hat. But he looked zoned out. He looked almost drugged, or just like of today. I'm just so fatigued because I couldn't sleep. It might have been something like that. The anxiety has just. I was shocked by it. No, I'm not saying. He looks so. You don't want to see anybody like that, even you're an enemy. You know what I mean?
Right, but he's your friend.
It's sad.
He's
like somebody I talked to, and I'm in one of his books.
Yes, you could be next. Mr. Mueller might be knocking on your door.
Well, I'm sure.
You might
He's going to be indicted. He'll probably be indicted. They're teasing him right now.
Are you worried he's going to take you down with him?
No, but I think that he really didn't do much because he was very self-aggrandizing. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
We already figured out that the crap's. Oh, I'm not. I assure you, he's not even there.
Well, Sam Nunberg keeps saying that, and Nunberg is fascinating. I love watching Sam Nunberg on TV. I've become kind of a fan. But he keeps saying, he doesn't think Roger Stone had anything to do with anything. He just thinks Roger Stone likes to build himself up and make him seem more important than he is.
Oh, yeah. I saw it with him because then he stops talking to you. Because he was always open to talking. He's fun to talk to. I don't care that it's Blarney. A lot of he says like the Killing LBJ book, which I instantly think
Blarney
was LBJ.
I don't know if we can say that on the radio.
They can say it on the morning show.
Blarney? Oh my goodness!
They went to the Blarney
They have filthy mouths.
Is it the Bob Baines Blarney breakfast?
Blarney is in the name of that breakfast. I can't believe that word would be used with food.
I think Bob Baines calls it breakfast.
Breakfast?
Well, yeah, he's lace curtain Irish.
That's very strange.
Well, where his son, who you had in the show, is much more down to earth.
Yes, Tim Baines. He doesn't mispronounce breakfast,
yes.
or maybe he does.
They're both very tall. They're both very bald, and they both look like Pleiadians.
Tim Baines is what is he about 6'10"?
He's got maybe an inch and a half on Peter White. Who
so he's,
when you have him in focus, he's pretty like 6'7".
So he's like an
6'8".
even 7 feet, is what you're saying. It sounds like, yeah.
Well, you think Peter's taller than 6'8"?
Yeah, Peter's about 6'11" and a half. I think he's a very, very tall man.
for me, it was always how much I drunk and whether, I told you the story. I said, geez, you're taller, now that I've got, how'd you get taller? He says, because you stepped off the bar stool.
Right.
I didn't even remember that. He's always like, how'd you get taller? He just looks at it off the bar stool.
Yes.
Oh, those were the days at the Pint Public House.
Oh, yes. Those were the days.
How's Ivanka doing?
I don't know. Don't see much of Ivanka.
She had your favorite president. Has he mentioned how calipiginous?
Calipiginous?
Her calipiginous.
I don't know if we can even
her
say.
tush is.
Can we say that on the radio?
He definitely was fond of her tush. Can we say tush?
Are you talking about Donald Trump fond of his own daughter's tush?
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Well, he has said that she has a great body.
Oh. He never specifically mentioned her tush.
No, but he should know. I mean, in theory, he has seen her nude.
I've never seen her.
Although he claims never to have changed a diaper.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps
and of course,
I'd be dating her.
Melania can't even admit that she saw me when she was here in the Queen City.
Melania saw you nude?
How could she see me nude when I was in the bib overalls, pretending I was one of the volunteer firemen?
Well, is this like one of these weird parties you go to?
No, it was right at the Central Fire Station.
Oh.
We were discussing the films of, where's my memory today? The guy who directed Cuckoo's Nest. He won 2 Oscars in Amadeus. What's his name? Oh, boy, you just take over the show, and I'll just sit here and humming.
It's
I
not
have to go
Kubrick,
leave
is
at
it?
5:30 anyways.
Was it Kubrick?
Kubrick was from the Bronx.
Oh. What's going on at 5:30?
Look, there's going to be a sacrifice.
Oh, my goodness.
Done by...
A human or an animal?
Well, it's not... technically, I guess it's not an animal. It's a golden calf.
Oh.
Made out of filigree and paper mache. It's allegedly Glenn R.J. Ouellette. It's like a huge panada. It's done by...
Glenn's?
The River's Edge. It's supposed to be...
Glenn's being sacrificed?
The crowdsourcing to fund his marriage and his honeymoon, where he's going to be traipsing through Africa, getting, old Moana and all that stuff from, his new constituents. Allegedly, this huge pinata is going to be filled with cash. But, I got a camera, but I gotta really see it. You got to see it to really think. Sometimes Glenn, he's well-meaning.
Yes.
But he can be bamboozled easily,
Walter said, this is all getting very eyes wide shut. Personally, I'd like to see Glenn kind of hold off on the whole marriage thing and focus on his campaign for mayor of Africa.
Has he announced his plans officially?
No.
And why did he choose the morning show?
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm kind of just, look, I mean, I love the morning show and I love those guys, and Glenn can announce his candidacy wherever he wants, but this is much more of a political show. I mean, I would have liked to have him announce it here.
Before I look up his name, do you know Cuckoo's Nest and Amadeus were produced by Saul Zaentz?
Amadeus. Oh, yeah, Saul Zaentz, who, of course, had the lawsuit against John Fogerty. You just brought the whole thing full circle. Why won't what come up?
Why don't you look it up, the Cuckoo's Nest?
I don't know. Why don't you?
We're right here. Now that I've come, we're right in it.
You're already
I
looking
am
it up.
Randall Patrick McMurphy.
So you're going to a sacrifice at 5:30, and they're sacrificing Glenn?
Well, Mr. Baseball is going to be there with his Mickey Mantle, number 7 bat.
Yeah.
Because it's got good wood on it still. And, Glenn's a little rusty, when it comes to hitting.
Yeah, so he's still got good
hitting
wood
from that side of the plate.
Even in his 80s.
So he's going to take he's get 3 swings against the Golden Calf.
Right.
And then deep club.
Dion.
They were my license. Get the cat teeth. Just have a mustache, which will. And
television show, so any of
I think he was in charge of the coins, and he was carnival. So it could be one of the great events that signals the rebirth in this town. Glenn might be effervescent tonight, and that will carry over to just about everybody. Milos Forman.
Glenn R.J. Willett
good
is
friend
always
of Melania's
yes.
mentor.
Glenn R.J. Willett is always effervescent. That's why I always call him the effervescent people's mayor, Glenn R.J. Willett.
Now you're lying, because you always call him the sartorially splendid.
I've called him that
R.J.
as well. I call him many things, and I have an idea. I think that Glenn, if Glenn really wants to win his race for mayor of Africa, because I'm so good at announcing him, I think I should be the official announcer for him at all his campaign events.
Very regular schedule in the afternoon.
So he might. I think
he knows. Jeez, we should get Steph.
It's to keep disconnecting, but you can always get the keep having live on the is lagging all parts of
take your
Who?
That during this.
I don't know if I've on the show. There's a gentleman named A.J. who is a hip hop artist from New Hampshire. And he's on a show of the with his song. Minute. Yeah. I did a radio edit of this track, so I think we'll take a moment.
I gotta hear this.
Oh, hello to Elizabeth Ropp, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. For those
she
of
hears,
you,
she hears about cheeks, and that she's coming in.
Oh my! For those of you listening on Facebook, however, because I'm about to play copyrighted music, I do have to mute the Facebook live chat. But you can also listen online at WMNHradio.org and hear everything uninterrupted for as long as the internet connection holds, because it keeps
now, Matt,
shutting down.
So we don't get one of those Me Too ones I meant. Elizabeth always says that I look like it's a cross between a Cupid doll or a chipmunk with like crab apples in my cheeks.
Does she ever squeeze your cheeks?
Oh, no, not at all. She is a very respectful young woman, since I'm an old fart.
Right.
Oh, I use that word.
Oh, you use that word, and you don't even like that word.
Do you think I look like a chipmunk that has crab apples in his cheeks?
Can't say it's ever occurred to me.
No, I think I have chipmunks in my house.
Yes. All right, so I got to mute the Facebook Live audio while I play this, but here it is. The stream seems to be holding, which is good. It wasn't earlier. And of course...
is that a comment on President Trump before he's president in Moscow?
Oh, I see what you're dying.
The French-Canadian
they were
you know,
yeah. The communications director for the Department of Education of New Hampshire. Negative, one people, the but it was just ridiculous. Some of the and you're not really researching anything. It's funny. I was by about that.
You know, you guys hated. But they're ignorant of what university.
Right.
It's I know for Americans or when you are you have to people there that have spirit is vitally important.
Right.
Because reality is so defined, and the I don't think like white privilege and that is exactly what you're going to say to people like this and what we went through. You know, both sides you have to develop a dialogue,
right.
But it doesn't help when we don't even say. But another thing is talking about when an Asian American or Indian, some sub, what do they call it? Well, they just called the Indians now. When I was younger, because
right.
Indians, red Indians, you had the Asian, sub, whatever. There used to be all this lingo. They're going to come here and look. But we do have a diverse community. We'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
The foods I like, to go to temple or that's important. And to become a part of a community, these smaller communities, which is the American melting pot, which I like that paradigm better than, and then you become part of a larger community.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have, like in Indians here, we have the food stores, and it's great. It's great.
It is great.
It is great, but it is,
But there's a larger anti-diversity. There's a larger anti-diversity attitude nationally too that really, the right, like Laura Ingraham just got in some, she's taking a lot of criticism right now. She did something on her show, I think. the kind of I'll more. You know, ab what? Fair or
attitude owned 1971. Then you go over to the other. It's and but with an agenda, because what does one find talk to people? And I think we need a human's rights commission.
Yeah.
Would you, yeah. Is it more positive?
You never know anything.
Well, was it like
yeah?
One of them was like white guilt. Didn't read, and I held back. I don't like to get into
yeah.
But my whole just said, and I hope you got something from this. If not, to start a conversation,
right?
A positive conversation, not something that's calling names.
Yes.
That's what we're doing. It's funny because they didn't read it because they were doing the opposite and calling names. Even the people that were defending the article.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're defending it or not. I don't know you. I'm not going to call you a name.
Right.
Don't assume it. And it's funny, again, they clearly didn't read it because I said, don't assume something because you see someone.
Right.
Don't assume that you know them or where they're from or what they've been through. You have no idea.
Right.
And what I talked about is, in the article I talked about my childhood and growing up in a Catholic school. I went to St. Anthony's and St. Joe's, and then I went to Memorial Public School. And I was more, I guess, exposed to diversity because I played basketball. So I played with some teams that were from the inner city and from different areas of Manchester and of New Hampshire. And then we went to other parts of New England that were more diverse than us.
Oh, yeah.
And I met a lot of these kids, and they're great people, and they still do great things for the city.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not. I think the most disturbing one was someone commented and said, you know, diversity brings what they say
drugs. That's one.
Drugs, disease, and crime, bed bugs. And I said to myself, you clearly don't know what people you're talking about, because those are the people that are the cleanest people in the world. The people that come here from other countries,
even if they do,
who cares? I mean, that's
except for the drugs. Maybe
if they obviously need some assistance or help,
right?
But the people that are coming here from, say, the Congo or Sudan, kids that I grew up with, are the cleanest people ever.
Yeah,
they have grown up on, you know, wash your hands before dinner, wash your hands before you do. They're very clean. I went to their houses. I used to play basketball in the projects.
Yeah,
I really don't even call them projects really in Manchester because they're really nice. But
it's Glenn.
Oh, Glenn R. J. Willett. Did you guys know Glenn's running for mayor of Africa?
Come on. Glenn, just a couple minutes.
Glenn, come on in. We
want to hear whether you're really going to get married. When's it start? What time is it?
6:30, I think.
Oh,
at the library. Yeah.
It's 6:30.
Yeah, between 6:30 to 8 at the library.
Oh.
Can I tell you a funny story because it has to do with French Canadians? Which I used the king, was it Cando, Franco, American?
Yep.
Because, it was the Cando, American. Franco. My brother comes back because we lived in, in the French parts. It's like frogs, 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 frogs. I tell my friend, Gary Himmer, who's half French Canadian, half frog, all bad. Oh, man, did that get hit? That really got his goat. And then I found out I'm part French Canadian because my mother would never talk about it. And my father never knew Grace Metalius was French Canadian, full-blooded frog or anything. So, no, she's Greek. No, that was George, her husband. They knew her Peyton place. He comes back after all this
Hey, John,
time.
before you get your shot,
Oh, the and it,
It is. Just what? Okay,
cool. Communication risks but it would also bring more crime, higher taxes for public. That don't. I would
that he can't fire him actually.
He can't.
No, because that was something. To find point. Sorry.
Yeah. People and different groups. Are there, but I think it's something when the it's in the dance. Irish moved in. The Italians can move up. Now, finally, Puerto Rico, the dialogue. You're the new generation. Was the great empire too. And these French Canadian words I had grown up and He's shocked. He says, do you really know what that means? No. Hear what he says.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not a-
Very nice. Yeah. Wow. Right, right, yes. My concern is because there just
president
there, and he's for mayor. I don't. I mean, I don't know if they'll elect him. You know what I mean?
Oh, it can't be. What do you call it? You're not
An absentee mayor.
Thank you.
That's true. That's true. I guess you can't really call him the people's mayor if he's absentee. But
yeah, they're calling this thing at the library a forum.
Yes.
Oh,
it's not. They don't really say debate.
No,
I think they're setting it up for like kind of a debate, but more of a. I think more of a conversation. People like the forums. They don't like debates.
Yes.
Debate says
it's confrontation.
Conflict.
You know, it's like,
yes.
Well, I think they're saying more of forum because it's both Democratic candidates for executive council. So I would assume they more of want a friendly dialogue amongst people that are going to vote for that party, I guess. But it should be interesting. I mean, I think both candidates are pretty qualified and both from Manchester, so that's good to see for Democrats.
Gray Chenoweth and
Garth Corvo.
Yeah,
oh, great. Yes. He was on the show.
He wasn't on the show. He called in.
Right. That was a great.
That worked out well.
Show.
Yeah, that worked out really well.
Yeah. What are you doing tonight on the show?
Tonight we have on two candidates for state rep in wards 1, 2, and 3, Mr. Matt Wilhelm and Jackie Critton. So yeah, they're kind of running as like a duo.
Oh,
I think they're friends, and they're decided to run like kind of together. Yeah, they're state reps, first time running.
Can they both be elected?
Yeah, there's two reps for that.
Okay.
For that,
okay.
I forget what the district number is.
Because if they couldn't, they wouldn't be friends after this.
Well,
right.
Thanks for clarifying that. I don't know how many people are running, but they're running as a duo. There's two reps for those sections, but Matt's here right now. I'm going to go talk to him.
Oh, okay. Very good. All right. Ben Dion is going to venture out into the hallway. Daryl, do you have any thoughts on the Space Force? Mr. Pence made the announcement today. By 2020, we'll have our Space Force established.
I begs the question, what's a Space Force?
Well, I think the bigger question is, what are the uniforms going to look like? That's what really matters. And I put in my 2 cents. I want to see Star Trek II Wrath of Khan era uniforms.
Absolutely.
Aren't those the best?
You know,
because they open at the chest.
Right. And I saw the article, but I just passed over it. You know, I just wasn't in the mood to try to figure out what the Space Force was.
Yeah. But my concern is, what if no one joins and they have to have a draft?
Wow.
Yeah, see?
Ain't nobody joining that anyway.
Right. You don't think so? You don't think there's going to be people who want to be part of the Space Force?
Well, if we can define what that Space Force is.
Right.
I think we need to know what that is.
Right.
Is it going to be a force in space?
I think so. I think that's the idea.
So this is not an Earth project.
No, it's a space project.
Okay, well, excellent. Well, while we're doing it, we might as well send Mr. Pence out there as well.
Well, I think President Donald John Trump should be the first one to voyage out, because he's dying to say warp factor 1 or something. You know what I mean?
Well, it's I don't know if it's even possible that he's going to survive till 2020.
You mean the presidency,
yes.
or you mean him because
the presidency,
he's? Oh,
yes,
right.
Well, what I didn't hear there was an election, a special election in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
did they finally figure out the winner? Was it the Republican?
I think it was.
He had a lead.
I think it was looking that way. Last I looked, it was too close to call, but I think it was looking that way, like he was probably going to win.
He was up by 1,800, so I'm going to assume he did. But still, the margin was so small that has to have a chilling effect on the Republicans.
Oh, yeah.
Chilling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving forward to the midterms.
Yeah, definitely.
That's going to be wild. I tell you, November is going to be absolutely wild.
Yes, yes. By the way, did you see Trump's comment last week about needing ID to buy groceries?
What's next? I think that's what you have to always wonder.
Yeah.
What is he going to say or do next?
Right, yeah.
I mean, initially I was, probably to use the word disturbed on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But now I'm able to laugh at it.
Yeah.
I'm past the disturbance.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because we all know what the disturbance is.
Right.
So we have to be amused by his temporary stature.
Yeah.
Because it's temporary.
Yeah.
I mean, worst case scenario, 8 years, never survives 8 years. And there's not a chance.
Right.
I would bet money on that.
But I think he does have a shot at re-election in 2020.
If they survive the midterms,
yeah,
absolutely.
Because his core base is with him no matter what.
No matter what he says, no matter what he does.
Yeah.
Because they bought into it. And, I'm starting to believe an article I read. If you continuously hear really irrational, stupid things, if you're not highly educated, you're going to start buying into it.
Oh, yeah.
And they're buying into it.
Absolutely.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Absolutely.
It's so disturbing.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see the... I wonder, I don't think I have it ready. There was a clip from a rally the other night. He was talking about the UK, and he was...
Didn't have a clue about...
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't seem to know what the UK actually is.
The funny thing is, he owns a golf course in a land that he's not really sure what it is.
Yeah. Oh, just incredible.
Oh man, that was really, really funny. He's our president.
I don't think I can find it quickly enough.
It was a couple days ago.
Yeah, but he was saying something like, yeah, people call it different things. People call it the UK. People call it Britain. People call it England. There's a lot of things people call it,
What do you call it, Don? Huh?
It's got a lot of names, and he just kind of rambles on about it.
He did some rambling.
Yeah, just nonsensically. And some people are proud of this. I can't, I just don't understand.
And I always thought that I had a thought here. I just lost it.
Oh.
About a rambling man. Who sang that song?
Oh, that's is that Greg Allman?
Yes, it is. Thank you very much. I was trying to think of the singer.
Yeah.
To tie it in, but
yep.
But our president does not sing.
No.
Oh.
Have you ever seen video of him trying to sing along to the national anthem? And he clearly, that's
he
funny.
Clearly
if you
doesn't
look
know
that
the
up,
words.
he doesn't.
That's a wild guess.
He doesn't know the words, but he tries to fake it. See, if I were him, I would just stand there and not try to sing along because no one would even notice. But he tries to fake like he knows the words, and it's obvious that he doesn't, and it's so embarrassing.
When is somebody going to tell him? I don't think anyone's going to tell him. I don't think even his kids are going to tell him.
Yeah.
He says one thing, and was his daughter that backed LeBron up, or his wife?
Oh yeah.
That was beautiful.
They both did.
Yeah, both the daughter and
oh no,
Melania?
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something else. No, it was just Melania.
Just Melania.
Yeah, you're right. It was just Melania.
It was all in for LeBron opening the school.
Yep. Yeah.
And he's not the dumbest guy on the planet.
Right.
She's married to him.
Yeah, it's
what a joke.
I know.
And I guess they're going to actually take out that star thing in Hollywood. That Walk of Fame.
It keeps getting vandalized.
Yeah. So they decided, well, he's a disturbing man anyway. So let's just get rid of it permanently.
Oh no!
So
kidding.
they're going to do it.
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure they're going to do it.
Oh, interesting. Someone suggested they replace it with, Carrie Fisher doesn't have the late Carrie Fisher doesn't have a star there.
She's earned it.
That's right. Yes.
I heard that she was going to be in absentia in the next Star Wars movie.
Oh, really?
Somehow they're going to. I don't know how they do it.
Well, with CGI, they can
do
anything. Yeah.
And she's going to be in it.
Oh, wow. That's
right from the
cool.
grave, man.
Oh, wow, jeez.
That's a little. No,
That's a little dark.
uncalled for.
My
Uncalled for.
goodness. Daryl, I mean, we do like to keep things in the bounds of good taste on this program. I don't know if you ever listen, but it's a very serious and somber program. And
somber?
It's very somber and sober. I think I meant sober, not somber. But sometimes it's somber as well. But personally, I'm I am somber about this sacrifice that's going to happen to Glenn R.J. Willett. I can't believe they're doing that at the Forum.
Yeah, I'm not real clear. Is he going to be a participant? He's not a participant in this thing, right?
No. I think they're just going to sacrifice him. I think the Forum is like the opening act, and that's going to be the
okay.
The main event is the sacrifice. We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed in the Afternoon. Who's this?
Matt.
Oh my goodness.
Matt.
Yes.
Why people so mean, Matt?
Oh, it's Melania.
Why do you always complain about my hobby?
I know. Well, we're not really complaining about him. We're just making observations.
That old man, go hobby stupid.
No one would call your hubby stupid. He's a stable genius. Just ask him.
Oh, man. You some people so mean to Melania.
No, we would never be mean to you, Melania. We were just complimenting you for standing up for LeBron.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We're the cute little fat guy who look like chipmunk with apple in his cheeks.
What? Melania, it's hard to understand you sometimes.
Jeez, Melania, you bad man.
No, we love you, Melania. Oh, she hung up. She always hangs up abruptly. Poor Melania.
Nice of her to call in, though.
Yes. If you had to choose between she and her husband, who do you like better?
Whoa, that's a tough one.
Is it really?
Honestly, I got to go with Melania.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah,
I gotta, because in a couple of instances, she distanced herself from her husband, and that's what I like because we know where he is.
Right.
So for her to say anything contrary to what he has said, it's got to be right.
Yes.
It's got to be good.
That's right.
And it was beautiful.
Allegedly, she's very, very intelligent, speaks multiple languages, well-educated.
I did read something, though, about the validity of her status in the country.
Oh.
They started messing around with that. You know how her husband loves to do that.
Yes.
So I just a whisper of it. Not sure because she came from Russia to Canada, then to here. But she was going back and forth because at the time she was a model.
Okay, yes.
So, and there was some question as to where is her citizenship legitimate.
Oh,
I think we ought to just send that out there.
Right. Well, what would be hilarious is if Trump decided to sign an executive order that, it wouldn't be funny, anything that hurts anyone's immigration status, but if he did do something that accidentally invalidated the citizenship of Melania.
Would that be something?
That would be embarrassing. Yes. Apparently, her parents just were sworn in as citizens of the U.S. Yeah.
Legit,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, which is, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll start to wrap up because you and your son are coming up next.
I think so.
Did you ever in your wildest dreams imagine you'd be hosting a show with your son?
No, and I tell you, it's been so much fun.
Good.
Good. It's I've enjoyed every second.
Yes.
I tune in. I don't watch a ton of TV, but I watched this show on ESPN called Highly Questionable.
Yeah.
And there's a father and son scenario there as well.
Oh, okay.
And I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And I like the age difference is far more dramatic.
Yeah.
Dan Lebitard is, I think, 49, and his dad is in his, his dad might be my age, I hate to admit.
Yeah.
I was thinking he might be a lot older, but he may not be a lot older.
That name is familiar. Dan
Lebitard. He was a journalist in Miami.
Okay.
And is a journalist.
Okay.
And he has a couple of shows.
Gotcha. Okay.
Dan Lebitard and Stu Gatz.
Okay.
That's a morning show they have in Florida, South Florida.
Oh, okay.
And I like to tune in after I watch the morning show with Pete and the Moose.
Yes.
It's right after that, so I kind of get primed up for it.
Oh, very good.
It's really kind of fun. And the show, highly questionable. His dad is only on that show. He's not on the morning show with his son.
Oh, okay.
But there's constant references, and his voice is always there, and he's a part of it, you know. So that makes me. I'm actually proud to be a part of Ben's show.
That's really cool. Yeah, the only other example I know of a similar scenario offhand, and I'm sure there's been other instances of this, but there's a show on Sirius XM satellite radio called Bennington, and it's hosted by this gentleman, this older guy who's been in radio for a long time, Ron Bennington, and he hosts it with his daughter.
Oh, cool.
His daughter, Gail Bennington. And when I see ads for it online, it's like I see these ads where it just says Bennington, and it's a picture of he and his daughter together, and then at the bottom it says no relation, even though obviously they're related, so it's pretty funny. Yeah. Ron Bennington's, if you ever want to look him up on YouTube, he's a genius. He used to host a show called Ron and Fez that was on satellite radio, which was really funny. Fez is retired, but it was just a brilliant show.
So he brought his daughter in to replace Fez?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Well, there is no replacing Fez. If you look up Ron and Fez on YouTube, you will not be disappointed.
Oh, cool.
Just brilliant stuff. But anyway, so we'll wrap up. So the Weekly Die-On is next. And do you remember who... Ben's out in the hallway, but do you remember who you've got coming up?
Yes, I do. We've got Jackie Cretion and Matt Wilhelm, candidates for state rep in Manchester's Ward 1, 2, and 3.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you, Daryl.
Thank you.
So that's coming up next on the Weekly Die-On. And if you miss any part of this program, it will be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org. And thank you to everybody in the Facebook Live chat. Thank you to everyone listening. Thank you to Jon Hopwood for stopping in. And thank you to Melania for calling us.
Real treat.
Always nice to hear from her. And that's it. I'll talk at y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.